Two here again. Thanks for coming back. Today I'm going to be making meatballs with a tomato sauce. A lot of us, myself particularly, spend half my life on diet. This is actually a Slim and World friendly recipe, although it is very, very tasty and it doesn't have to be classed as a diet meal. It's, you know, you'll see once you've done it, it's really, really nice. In my bowl here, I've got 500 grams of minced pork and 500 grams of minced beef. To that, I'm adding one very finely chopped onion, a large onion. I've got about a thumb-sized piece of ginger. I'll show you what I mean by that later. And I've got about 3 cloves of garlic, which I've grated in here. So I'm just adding all of that to my mince. And then I'm using mixed herbs today, but you can use Italian seasoning, you can use herbs de Provence, whatever you like. And I'm putting a heaped tablespoon in. I know it seems like a lot, but this is actually going to make about 36 meatballs. And I usually do about 3 meatballs per person. There are only 2 of us live here, so I divide it up into half a dozen different portions in the sauce, freeze it down, and then I can bring it out whenever I want to. So I'm just going to mix all this together. Hands are better than anything else, and you need it really well mixed in. You want it to get to the stage that you can't tell like the pork mince from the beef mince. So as you can see, that's nicely mixed in now. All the onions are well mixed in. You can't really tell the you can't really tell the difference between the pork mince and the beef mince. So now I'm gonna roll them into balls. I want them about the size of probably a ping pong ball. And I'm gonna, as I say, I'll get about 36 portions out of this. Okay, so I've got 36 meatballs there, as I said. I've sprayed the tray that they're in with fry light to obviously keep the fat lower. And I'm just about to spray the top of them, trying not to get it on camera obviously. Just give them a quick spray over. They don't need an awful lot because although I've used 5% beef and pork, there will still be some fat in them. So that's it. Now they're going to go in the oven on 180 degrees for about 20 to 30 minutes. I only want to brown them. I'm not cooking them completely through because they will finish cooking when we put the meal together. So I'm going to pop those in the oven right now. Okay, so the meatballs are in the oven. I'm now going to make the sauce. It takes about the same length of time as I want the meatballs to brown. In my bowl here, I've got about 4 large onions. These are coarsely chopped. The ones that go in the meatballs are really finely chopped because if you chop them coarsely, they're not going to hold together, so they need to be fine, but these are coarsely chopped. They're going... If you wanted to, I don't, but if you wanted to, you could add some chilli to the sauce. You could add some chilli, I would go with chilli flakes. You could add a few chilli flakes to your meatballs just to pep them up a bit. But they are really tasty without. And I'm just going to let that cook down for a couple of minutes and then I'll start adding my other ingredients. Right, I said I'd explain about a thumb-sized piece of ginger. A thumb-sized piece of ginger. It is about the size of my thumb. That looks rather weird, but there you go. Okay, I've got quite a thin piece today because I don't need a huge fat piece, but I do use an awful lot of ginger. If you don't use a lot of ginger, but you want to keep it in, if you peel it, I'm just grating it on the fine side of the grater. If you peel your ginger and then put it in the freezer, it'll keep it in a like a plastic Tupperware box. it'll keep for ages in there, and you can just pull it out when you want to grate some. Just grate it off. It'll grate from frozen, and then you can put it back in the box and back in the freezer, and it will keep like that for as long as you want it, really. Okay, so that is my thumb-sized piece of ginger gone in. When you're getting stuff off your grater, always use the wrong side of your knife. Never use the blade side of your knife, because you'll blunt your blade. I know this is only so we've got 5 smallish medium cloves of garlic. I'm just grating those on the fine side of the grater again, straight into the mixture. I'm getting all that yumminess out of the mixture. Out the grater. Okay. Give that a stir in. I'm just going to leave that cook down for a couple of minutes. So my onions and my peppers and my celery have cooked down quite nicely there. The onions are slightly browned, the peppers are slightly softened, the celery is slightly softened. So I'm ready to add some more ingredients. I'm going to put some more of my mixed herbs into the sauce. Again, I'm going with a heaped tablespoon. Don't forget, this, as I say, is going to divide into 6 portions, so that's actually not a huge amount. Stir that in. Now I've got 3 large carrots grated on the coarse side of the grater. Pop that in. For those of us on Slimming World, obviously this is some of our speed going in. Stir that in well. In fact, this sauce is mostly speed stuff for, again, people on Slimming World. Though I do follow Slimming World, I don't want this site to be about Slimming World, because life isn't. You know, I will do lots of other things. I've already done some jam and some crumble. I'll do cakes. Closer to Christmas, I'll do sweets. You know, there's all sorts of things going on. Obviously, when I get a chance, I should be making some cider, make wines, you name it. There's lots and lots and lots. So I've mixed those carrots in really well. I'm now going to add, I've got 650 grams of mushrooms, and I've chopped them quite coarsely, because we do like mushrooms. You can add, again, anything you want to this. Sometimes I put courgettes in, butternut squash grates into it quite nicely. If you want to put pumpkin in it, pumpkin grates into it quite nicely. I've done that before now. There's any number of things that will go in if you can grate it down and chuck it in. When my son was younger, if he could see chunks of vegetables like this, he wouldn't eat it. So what I used to do was just grate everything in. When it cooks down, it's barely noticeable. I used to say to him it was dinosaur sauce and things like that. And if he said why, I'd say because dinosaurs eat things like this. Unicorn sauce is a good one because there's lots of colours in it. You know, anything to get kids eating vegetables, because although my son isn't a star and will eat pretty much anything, I know a lot of kids struggle. So my mushrooms are cooked in or mixed in, my carrots are mixed in. I'm now going to add 4 cans of chopped tomatoes. Just straight in, bog standard chopped tomatoes, again, any supermarket. Stir them in, give them a chance. You may decide that you need more than that. You may decide that you don't actually want 4 cans, because don't forget you're going to get liquid off of your vegetables. But it is a really chunky sauce. I'm also going to add tomato puree, a couple of tablespoons. That will be another tablespoon. My tube's nearly empty. And I've got 6 beef stock cubes here. I'm going to crumble those in. Again, as I say, this is going to divide down to about half a dozen portions. So 6 beef stock cubes isn't actually that much. Just squeeze them over the top and then I will mix them in. My sauce is bubbling away nicely now. And you can see there's more liquid in there, but I don't want it over soggy because there's nothing worse than having a really sloppy. It's more like a soup and it's not nice. So if you wanted to, you could liquidize this down to a soup or just have it as it is, because it would make a lovely chunky soup. And it's full of veg, so there's nothing in there that's bad. So I'm going to haul my meatballs out of the oven. My meatballs are out of the oven. They're slightly browned, but they're not going to be completely cooked at this stage because you will cook them when you finish it off, obviously. You're only sort of part cooking, but I should say probably about 3/4 cooked now. So I'm just going to tip those carefully into my sauce. You can see they're holding their shape nicely. You watch now, I'll squash one. And getting a bit full, but hey ho. I'm going to turn my heat down because we're bubbling away here and I don't want to lose any of that lovely sauce. So I'm going to stir those in very carefully because my pan is very full. Completely coat and immerse those meatballs in that sauce. Because I know I've got 36 meatballs, obviously I can count them out into portion sizes. I've said I've got 36 meatballs in here, 3 per person, 6 per double portion. So I'm now going to fish my meatballs out. 2, 4, 6. And then at the end, I will divide the sauce up between the tubs. When all your meatballs are in, just divide the sauce, pack it as full as you can. Divide the sauce up between the portions, and there you have it, 6 portions of 6 meatballs. I'm going to leave those to cool for a little while. I will then put the lids on, write on the lids what they are, because if you're like me, I do a lot of bulk cooking and I end up with things in the freezer and I haven't got the foggiest idea what they are, so always write on the lids. If you write it with a pen that will wash off, then you can wash your tubs and use them again, which I do constantly. I'm going to leave those to cool. I'll put the lids on, and once they've cooled, I'll pop them in the freezer. And there you have it. When I come to cook these, obviously I take one portion out of the freezer, leave it to defrost, or defrost it in the microwave. This is a great one for me because my son, I have to go and pick him up from school, which usually takes about an hour. I pop a portion of the meatballs into a casserole dish with enough pasta to serve the 2 of us, and about a cup of water. I stir it together and then I put it in the oven at about 160, 170 degrees centigrade, and I'll grate some cheese over the top, and I just leave it lidded in the oven until we get back. As we walk through the door, dinner's ready to go. Okay guys, so that's about it for this video. Please remember, like and subscribe if you found it helpful, and don't forget to have a look at some of our other videos if you haven't already. We'll be doing more things, as I say. Some will be Slim and Well friendly, some really won't. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you like what I'm doing. If there's anything you want me to do in particular, just let me know. If there's something that you like, that you want to try, again, let me know. Hope to see you again soon. That's everything for today. I hope you've enjoyed what I've done today. Thank you ever so much for watching, and always remember, you can too.